Welcome to Geek Fandom Media. I'm your host, Chris, you guys. It's my first video on this brand new channel. Some of you guys may remember me over on C-Roll Productions. This is a brand new start to a big old journey I am excited to take on with you guys. And all my subscribers who've hopped over to this channel, thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Captain America Brave New World. We're talking spoilers. Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back to the channel, you guys, because I am going to really talk about this film in depth. The discourse around Sam Wilson. Let's start there. A lot of people don't like Sam Wilson being Captain America. I wonder why, right? Is it because he's black? Is it because it's not earned? It's very much earned. It is. He's been in the MCU. Anthony Mackie has been in the MCU since Winter Soldier, you guys. It's earned. So when Steve handed him that shield at the very end of Avengers Endgame, it was a massive moment. And you go back, you watch interviews of Anthony Mackie talking about how, he didn't know he was going to get the shield. And, they were shooting Avengers Endgame and Chris Evans invited everybody over to watch football. And, he had no idea. So Evans was extremely hyped and he was, are you ready? And he was like, what are you talking about, dude? So they went downstairs in his basement or whatever and he gave him the script. And he found out he was going to be Captain America. Such a big moment for Anthony Mackie. And he does carry that mantle so well. It oozes out of him. When they announced Falcon the Winter Soldier, I was really excited about it. I was like, man, we're going to explore a new version of Captain America in the MCU. How is he going to struggle being the brand new version of Captain America in the MCU moving forward? It was a struggle for him at first. He didn't feel like it was the right decision for Steve to pick him. So I'm like, what? Would you rather have Bucky? He has so much red in his ledger. It's insane if Kevin Feige's like, let's give it to Bucky. It would make no sense. So the story arc in Falcon and the Winter Soldier really did a wonderful job of, going in depth of Sam's, emotions about being the new Captain America, struggling with the idea. And at the end of the day, he looks so damn good at that, at the end of the show in the full Wakandan suit. And then when they announced Captain America Brave New World, really excited. I was like, hell yeah, Anthony Mackie gets to land and lead his own film as Captain America in the MCU. Let's get it. And it didn't disappoint. I had such a good time with this movie. The reshoots, there was a lot of concern. A lot of people were concerned about this movie. Man, what's up with all these reshoots? Oh, they took out the Serpent Society and they added Giancarlo Esposito. What's happening? It's been delayed. I didn't feel any of that. I didn't. And I went in with an open mind. Yeah, I saw a bunch of non-spoiler reviews, but I didn't let that, fog my own judgment for Captain America Brave New World. I went in with my own lenses, my own mind. And it paid off. I had such a great time with this entire film. I'm trying to think of any weak points. I'm genuinely being real with you guys. I don't think that this film had any weak points. I really enjoyed it. Now, is it the best Captain America movie? Absolutely not. I think it's the third best Captain America movie. I would still put Winter Soldier at the top, Civil War, then Brave New World, and the first Avenger. I really, really thought this film was so much fun from start to finish. The cast in particular, you guys, the acting chops. Carl Lumley, Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie, everybody was so good. Or even Giancarlo Esposito's character in this film as Sidewinder. His presence was so heavily felt and so intimidating. And when he was going at Captain America, I was like, yo, this is wild. I was like, yo, he's good. I was like, I want more Sidewinder in the MCU, especially after, what happened in this film. But as a whole, you guys, I really enjoyed it. The action sequences were top notch. Now, they weren't on the level of the hand-to-hand combat as Winter Soldier. But when Cap was going and he was flying and, all of that stuff looked great to me. It felt new and it felt fresh. We saw some of it in, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I feel like in this show, it was really elevated to a whole nother level. And now that he's a master of using the shield, he has all this Wakandan, tech on his suit. Awesome stuff. But I will say, though, when he was fighting that one dude at the very beginning of the movie in the first act, and he kind of cut through his suit, I was like, isn't that, Wakandan and, the vibranium weed into the suit? How was he able to cut his suit? That was a little confusing to me. But the action sequences, they were really well shot. They're very immersive, you know, and it really brought you in. And even leading to like the third act, to the massive, you know, introduction of, you know, Thunderbolt Ross transforming into the Red Hulk. That action sequence was huge. It was crazy big. Now, granted, it was only like 5 to 6 minutes. It wasn't nothing long, but it was effective. I felt like I was in the film. It was immersive. I really enjoyed it. And the visual effects of the Red Hulk, you guys, was so good. So damn good. It really, I was like, man, this is top tier right now. Like, Age of Ultron really nailed, even like the first Avenger movie did, Age of Ultron, like the Hulk looked really, really good in that. Even in, you know, Infinity War and Endgame, they look good, but something about, you know, seeing, you know, the Red Hulk, his skin looked so tight in the veins, and like, it looked real. I was like, yo, this is wild to me. Really enjoyed the visual effects. The action was good. The story, let's talk about the villain. How was the villain? So, you would think that Sidewinder was going to be like the main villain of the film, but no, it all led to somebody else behind the scenes pulling the strings, of that being Samuel Stearns, the leader. Now, I've heard that people say that this feels like a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. And that part, I do have to agree. And that's not a bad thing, baby. I love The Incredible Hulk. That film was great. Make Hulk that again. So the fact that it did kind of feel like a sequel to those returning characters, like Thunderbolt Ross, you know, or, you know, Samuel Stearns, the leader, or Betty, it all felt cohesive. It felt important. It felt connected. And that's what I felt like has been missing from the MCU for so long. The cohesiveness, it's been missing, and it's bothered me. So I really appreciated that. And the villain, Samuel Stearns, I get why some people didn't like the design of it. It's very different from the comic books, the massive head. But I was like, can you imagine this dude walked on set with a ginormous head looking like a cone head? It would look silly. So I understand the redirection for that design. And it didn't bother me. I like the glowing eye. I thought it was cool. He has Bruce's blood in his system. He has that gamma, dude. And the fact that, you know, he's been behind the scenes and Ross has been kind of like torturing his ass in a prison. Ross has done some evil shit. But I felt for Ross in this film. I understand. I felt like I understood him. He was trying to make the change. He didn't want to be the old, you know, did I say Everett Ross? No, I didn't say Everett Ross. Thunderbolt Ross. Thaddeus Ross, right? So I understood where he was coming from. But the fact that he was so evil to really like kind of take prisoner of, you know, Samuel Stearns and use him to create all kinds of weapons, because the gamma infected his mind and his brain, made him super smart. And he was coming up with all this kind of crazy technology, crazy weapons for the government and things of that nature. So he was using him. And I like to tie into the story of like, he was going to die. Thunderbolt Ross was having heart issues. And obviously Samuel Stearns, the leader, being the genius that is, he was able to help him. But he was also promised his freedom if he got elected the president. That never happened. So the fact that he was all about destroying his legacy, and it worked. Like, at the end of the day, Samuel Stearns turning himself in worked, because he ended up destroying his legacy. He went full Hulk at the end of the film and destroyed his presidency. Drawing a blank right now. But absolutely destroying his legacy, being put on the raft at the end of the film. First time seeing Betty in years in a prison cell. He destroyed his legacy, you guys. When's the next time will we see, you know, the Red Hulk or Thunderbolt Ross? No idea. But I really thought, you know, the relationships in the film were really good. Man, Carl Lumley, Isaiah Bradley, you guys, was so incredible in this movie. So incredible. I love, you know, Falcon, and I love, you know, Sam's relationship with, you know, Isaiah Bradley. I love the whole training montage sequence or whatever. I thought that was super cool. And I like Sam's whole little setup and get up. I thought it was like high tech. And I was like, yo, Sam, now that you do Captain America, brother, how can you afford all of this? You ain't got that Iron Man money. But it seemed like somebody was paying him. Somebody was paying Captain America the big dollars. That whole, you know, gym sequence was super cool, man. And just to see how it can feel so homey was so so great to me. That's why one thing I love so much about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That show really feels like it hits home. You know, Sam going back home, seeing his sister, and I would love to have seen his sister show up in this film. I really do. She was such the heart of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you know, I feel like it would have been a huge idea, you know, to have her in some kind of capacity show up in this film, but you know, she didn't. Or even, you know, his nephews. You know, that would have been awesome. You know, I would love to see something like that. But like I said, you guys, this film did a great job. Like, all the characters were, you know, were perfect to me. Or even like, you know, the CIA, I forget her name. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. She was working directly with the president. You know, at first I was kind of iffy about her character, about like, oh, okay, she actually grew on me. You know, she was doing her own investigation of why, you know, Isaiah Bradley would try to assassinate the president. You know, that whole, oh, dude, that scene. Like, I always knew that it was going to be some kind of Winter Soldier type shit of how they're going to be, you know, playing these mind games. And when he was put back in prison, you guys, was heartbreaking. Because he was in jail for 30 years. And, you know, when they arrested him and he was like, get your hands off my suit. That was the suit he wore, you know, it was his wife when she was alive. Or it was at his wedding, I believe he said. It was just so heartfelt. And to see him behind the bars, you guys, was so damn sad. So when you know, Sam Wilson was able to get him out, it was so fulfilling. I was like, oh, yes, please. I love their relationship. Their relationship means so much to me, you know, to see those two black male figures really getting along and be such an inspiration for one another, getting Isaiah Bradley to come out of the darkness, you know, and getting Sam Wilson to, you know, to take on this mantle and, you know, be Captain America. It was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful relationship that I would love to see more of. Joaquin Torres, you guys, as Falcon, I thought was cool. I liked his suit. Some of the humor didn't land for me, and I get it. You know, you need a Falcon to your Captain America. I get it. I understand. They're trying to lean heavy on, you know, Anthony Mackie's, you know, humor throughout the MCU, or, you know, him and Bucky's relationship. So I understood that. But, you know, I enjoyed Joaquin Torres in this film. You know, like I said, I thought his relationship with Sam Wilson was very believable, and, you know, I really appreciated that. Cameos, we gotta talk cameos. We saw one cameo, you know, and that was pretty much, you know, Bucky. I love that Bucky scene so much. I got emotional seeing Bucky show up at the hospital for Sam. You know, and apparently Bucky's like a congressman now. And the special, you know, the CIA agent or whatever, she was like kind of, you know, turned on by Bucky. She was like tall, straight back, good looking teeth. I was like, okay, I see you. But seeing that whole relationship in that scene of Sam still having those doubts of being Captain America was beautiful. It was beautiful. Because at the end of the day, I'm human, you're human, we're consistently going to doubt ourselves. No matter how good things may be or how bad things can get. We're going to doubt it. It's just going to happen. I have so much self-doubt myself. And I'm pretty sure some of you do as well. And I like that they kind of went back into that. Because being Captain America is a huge responsibility. How many, you know, what did he say? Steve Rogers stopped 2 alien invasions? 2 alien invasions as Captain America. Sam was just struggling in this movie. There's no alien invasion. There was none of that. And I like that. You know, it's so much more. And I love the fact that Sam had his self-doubt and, you know, and he felt like he had to prove himself again to be Captain America and able to really lead the new Avengers, take on, you know, this new task of leading the new Avengers. Because that's what it is essentially at the end of the day. You know, that's why, you know, Thunderbolt Ross, you know, was like, hey, I want to talk to Sam. I want to invite you to the White House. You know, I want you to start up the Avengers again. You know, it's that responsibility of having the Avengers. And Sam, that's huge, to be the leader. And that's how a lot of people feel right now. A lot of people are like, well, who's going to lead the Avengers? Who is on the Avengers lineup right now? We still don't know. But it seems like, you know, Sam could be recruiting, which I really, really like. You know, they introduced the idea and the concept of finally talking about that damn celestial in the Indian Ocean, of that, you know, massive Tiamat, that being, you know, the resource of adamantium, Wolverine's metal skeleton. I was like, okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. So how are we going to expand on this story? The Weapon X protocol, the Weapon X program has, when are we going to kickstart that? That's going to be interesting to me. So are we going to get a much younger version of Wolverine in the MCU? No idea, but they got adamantium, you guys. It's stronger than vibranium. I was like, oh, shots fired, Wakanda. Shots fired. But I like that whole sequence. That whole massive sequence of, Sam and Falcon, Captain America and Falcon, and, the massive celestial out of the ocean. The aerial stuff was just really cool, man. I really, really enjoyed this film. You guys, this movie is so good. It's so overhated. The fact that it has a C- on the cinema score is wild to me. And 50 something on Rotten Tomatoes is wild to me. This shit is far better than the Marvels. Far better than Iron Man 2. Far better than Iron Man 3. Far better than Thor Love and Thunder. Like, it's wild to me that this film is getting so much disrespect on its name, because I really enjoyed it. Did I miss anything? Characters we talked about, cameos, post-credit scene was kind of blah and blah and blah and blah and blah. I was like, how do you know about that shit? Oh, he's coming, or they're coming. I was like, what are you talking about? You're talking about the Kang? Like, I feel like this was kind of, during the phase of, obviously, when Jonathan Majors was still attached to the film, they were talking about the Kang Dynasty and seeing all the versions of Kang. But I was like, man, Samuel Stearns, what you know, dog? How do you know about this multiverse? How do you know about these universes? Just how smart are you, Samuel Stearns, and what have you seen? So I thought it was interesting. Wasn't needed. I thought they would lead to a much bigger thing, but I was like, I would have can you imagine, Sam Wilson showing up to somebody's house recruiting? That would have been fun. You know what I mean? The Avengers are finally coming together. But all in all, I enjoyed the heck out of Captain America Brave New World, you guys. Did not disappoint. I loved it. Such a great start to the MCU this year, you guys. We still have Thunderbolts, and we still have the Fantastic Four first steps. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about Captain America Brave New World. Where would you rank this out of the Captain America franchise? Thoughts and opinions, let me know. And of course, thank you guys so much for supporting the new channel, and I hope you guys continue to stay. Peace.